I like to set quarterly goals instead of annual goals. I like to make them a bit more bite-sized.
As soon as I get an idea, I'm doing it.
The most important part of a plan, the thing that makes a plan the most effective, is
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Lisa Nichols. Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The link to join are in the description below.
I believe any behavior that you don't want any longer, the way that the catalyst to change is recognizing the price. You're gonna play ginormous, say ginormous. But first, take baby steps. I like to set quarterly goals instead of annual goals. I like to make them a bit more bite-sized. Now, I start with a big, bodacious, scary, hairy goal, right? Then I immediately release that goal and chunk it down into 4 smaller goals that are bite-sized, digestible, and palatable. I can measure them every 90 days. You want to be able to measure, write this down, you want to be able to measure your actions, your goals, and your milestones every 90 days. When you do that, it allows you to see how close on path you are. Have you exceeded your own expectation? If you have a goal that this year, I want to make an additional $45,000, or I want to make an additional $100,000, and you get to the first quarter and you're $30,000 in, you know you're on path. However, if you have the goal over the year, I want to make an additional $100,000, and you get to the end of the first quarter and you're at $10,000 in additional revenue, you know you need to do something. You know you need to ramp up, or you know that this next season, this next time, I need to make sure that I'm doubling up on my revenue to hit that goal, versus getting to November and realizing that you're only at $35,000 towards your $100,000 additional revenue goal. Whatever your goal is, whether it's $100,000 or whether it's $10,000 or whether it's $1 million in addition, or whether it's new relationships, or whether it's a social media.
As time has gone on, I've become less and less a fan of goal setting. And I love the idea of quarterly goals over annual goals, over decade-long goals, because the timeline is shorter. And why I'm less a fan of goal setting is because the more you're actually growing, the less likely you're actually able to predict where you're going to be. So I really hate 10-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. If you think about where you were 5 years ago, think about who you were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, look at the calendar. 5 years ago from today, in the past, who are you? You think that person could predict where you would be 10 years ago? 10 years ago, I just started my YouTube channel. I had a couple videos up. 10 years ago, I said I'd never want to write a book. 10 years ago, I wouldn't imagine that I'd be here. I'd be here and making videos for a YouTube channel with 300 million views in Puerto Rico because Brendan Burchard invited me to his mastermind group to speak on stage in front of all these successful entrepreneurs. I wouldn't have predicted that, like with zero accuracy. And same thing for you. 10 years ago, you had no idea that you'd be here. Not if you're growing. And this is the big caveat. Not if you're growing. Like if you can predict with accuracy where you're going to be in 10 years, you can hit it, but it's just way small compared to what you could have done. And it means that you haven't grown in the past decade. And so that's my main beef against goals. And having shorter goals, having numeric goals can be great. Can be great. Like I want to get 10 million subscribers on my main YouTube channel. That's a good goal. But if I set that as my 10-year goal and that's the only thing I'm going to do, then it's wrong, because probably in 3 years I should jump off and go do something else, right? I've been fortunate that I've been doing YouTube for 10 years, and I still love it. It's still amazing. But chances are your 10-year plans, you should jump off in year 2 and go do something else, because that thing is actually better for you because you've grown as a person. So with Lisa, it's great, the advice that instead of annual goals, set it down to quarterly goals, because goals are still helpful. They're still good to kind of track your progress, to know that this video did better than that video, that this customer brought in more money than this customer, that are you doing enough actions to go and get the business that you want. Those are great. But as a macro thing that's leading your decisions, I think the longer you stretch it out, the worse it actually is. And it can actually hurt you. Now, I'm definitely in the minority, I think, on this. I'm actually really nervous about this because I'm going to Brendan's second mastermind. So Brendan Burchard, thought leader, awesome dude. If you don't know him, you can look him up. We've done some top 10s on him. He invited me to speak at his event in front of 200 people who paid 30 to 50K to be here. And then he invited me to stick around for him and his buddies, 14 people who are all super well-known people who you guys know, to plan, to come to his place, stay with him on his resort for the next 3 days, and plan the next decade. And I'm nervous because I don't think that way. Plan the next decade? I don't know what I'm going to say. I mean, this is my practice. This is what I'm going to say. And I'm not there to say that they're wrong. And I'm not here to say Lisa's wrong either. It's a different approach. It's just not how I think, how I operate, how I work. To plan for the next decade, as soon as I get an idea, I'm doing it. I'm turning 40 this year in May. And people ask me, what are you going to do for when you turn 40? Like, what's going to change? I don't think that. Why would I wait? I'm still months away from that happening. Right? Like, as soon as I think about that, then I have to do it right now. I'm 40 right now. I'm 50. I'm 70 right now. That's how I operate. As soon as you get the idea, then you go. Now, you have a mission. And this is the thing that aligns me, right? It's the thing that keeps me focused. I have a mission. I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem. People don't believe in themselves enough. I'm on a mission forever. And that mission guides me to do bigger and bigger things. I want to play on a bigger scale. I want to reach more lives. I'm never going to solve that problem. But I wake up every day trying to go out and solve that problem. So you have a mission. It's not that there's no clarity or no direction. The mission gives you direction. But the further you go out in terms of actually figuring out the how, your who and your why, right, are constant forever. Your who is your most important core value, belief. The why, your purpose comes from your pain, is forever. It's forever. But the how you go off and do it is going to change. Many, 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 many times from now to when you die. And so, I don't know. That's how I think. I'm nervous about sharing with these guys. We'll see what they say. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video and give you guys an update in a future Entspresso. But goal setting can be really important, especially the shorter term ones. But just don't let it get in the way of what your big term mission is supposed to be. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, what do you think about goals? Give me your take. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video and you're still watching, I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe in the comments as well.
Do as much planning as you can. Dig in and plan every detail that you can plan. Now, when it does come to planning, I think the most important part of a plan, the thing that makes a plan the most effective, is its flexibility. And making a plan that is so flexible that when you do the actual operation and you come up against unexpected things, which are absolutely going to happen, you have the flexibility, you have options, you have contingency plans to deal with. Make a plan and go, and that comes back again to flexibility. If you come up with a good plan and you go, as that plan is being executed, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention and watch how it's unfolding. And don't put the blinders on and you've got your plan and now we're going to go and we're not going to look around anymore. We're just going to follow the plan. No, you have to be observant. You have to observe, orient, decide, and act the whole time. You can't just come up with a plan and stay on that track, because when you come up with a fast plan, you're not going to have thought about every single detail. And you don't know what the enemy's going to do anyways. You don't know what your competitor's going to do. You can't guarantee that. So when you see them start to react to what you executed, now you got to be ready to react yourself and get the upper hand and take the offensive.
If you want to know how Mel Robbins goes step by step with her planning, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
In order to make it stick, go brick by brick.